Welcome to Wager Talk TV. Kelly Stewart here, joined by Steve Merrill at Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L on Twitter, and Tony Mejia at Mejia Dinero. Make sure you're giving both these guys a follow. They give out tons of free content as well as free content over on WagerTalk.com. Today we are talking Los Angeles Rams, 3.5-point favorite at the Indianapolis Colts, total 47.5. Tony, I'm going to sit out on this one. I want everybody to go over to bet on it, watch this, because this is my best bet. You don't have to watch all of bet on. Just scroll to the end. You guys can watch the last few minutes of it. That being said, I'm hoping that you and Steve agree with me. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, the Colts looked especially sloppy in their season opener against Seattle, giving up big plays and getting their quarterback hit. And it really wasn't a surprise to see their offensive line look as disjointed as it is. Quentin Nelson, the highest paid offensive guard in football, has been dealing with back and foot injuries. He's been in and out of practice this week because of the back issue. They went with Julius Davenport at left tackle because Eric Fisher isn't ready yet from tearing his Achilles. He's at the 8-month mark on tearing his Achilles. I tore my Achilles. It took me out for over a year. He's coming back this week if everything goes right at the 8-month mark. I'm not sure he's going to be at 100%. And then Ryan Kelly, who dealt with COVID in addition to Carson Wentz. They had that notorious quarterback center exchange that didn't go well on a 4th down that really changed that game. So the offensive line is a mess. They got Wentz hit 15 times in the contest, 4 sacks for the Seahawks in that game, and now they're facing Aaron Donald and friends. So I don't think that's going to go very well. The other issue that the Colts face is that cornerback Xavier Rhodes is not practicing with a calf injury, and they're facing Matthew Stafford, who's the only quarterback that performed better rating-wise than Russell Wilson did against Indianapolis. What Stafford did against the Chicago Bears was tremendous in terms of hitting big plays. The Rams already matched their output of 50-yard touchdowns of the entire season from last year in week 1 with 2 of them, which is an indictment on Jared Goff and his little dink and dunks, and really tells you why they're so excited about Matthew Stafford out in L.A. You've also got the issue of, Jalen Ramsey facing being a shutdown corner and facing really who's the number 1 receiver in Indianapolis, Zach Pascal at this point. So with T.Y. Hilton out, I think Ramsey's going to shut down whoever they put on him. It's going to be really difficult for Indianapolis to move the ball. Indy 1-6 against the spread over their last 7 games. Would have loved it at 3, still like it at 3.5. I think the Rams moved to 2-0 and the Colts open 0-2 and really look like a shell of themselves to start the season.
Steve, do you agree with what Tony had to say about the Rams and the Colts?
Well, I agree that the Colts did not look good and the Rams looked pretty good. And it's hard for me to make a case statistically. I mean, the passing matchup does concern you here. The Rams with Stafford, first game, threw for 12 yards per pass attempt. That's over a first down every time he dropped back, the 26 times he dropped back to pass. Colts allowed 10.5 yards, 78% completions last week against Seattle and Russell Wilson. So that's a concern. But as you know, Kelly, this is the NFL. And I know you didn't want to do a spoiler alert with your bet on it pick, but I'll give a little spoiler alert for my Fade the Public NFL video that'll be on Wager Talk TV this weekend. And this will most likely be one of the 3 most public plays this week, if not the most public. Last week, the Rams were the 2nd most public play on the board. They were the only one of the top 3 to cover the closing line. And as you know, the public is fickle. They're short-term thinkers, but when they win, they come back even stronger the next week. Meanwhile, the Colts were actually the 4th most played against team last week as they were heavy on Seattle. So these are 2 teams the public did well with playing on and against last week. That's not surprising. We've seen the line go from 3 to 3.5. But favorites of 3.5 win by exactly a field goal nearly 11% of the time. So that half-point move is tremendous. I do think there's value now with the Colts at plus 3.5 or more. And once again, I'm not going to make a statistical matchup case here, but week 1 of the NFL usually is the most random week of the season. It doesn't correlate to the rest of the year. I think this is a textbook example of that for so many different levels. And let's not forget, this is a possible letdown spot for the Rams. They not only had the big Sunday night game against the Bears, but that was the first game in the new stadium with fans. It's a tremendous letdown now, traveling on somewhat of a short week after the Sunday night game and now playing a non-conference opponent as a road favorite. Situationally, I think this is a pretty good setup for the Colts. Let's just hope they don't allow over 10 yards per pass again.
All right, good stuff from Steve and Tony. Make sure you guys head over to our Wager Talk YouTube channel and search for any other NFL or college football you're looking for. Guarantee we have it.